Hello, everybody. Welcome. This is Terrell from Terrell03.com. It is Monday. It is June 15th, 2026. It's 7:59 a.m. Central Time here in the Ozarks. I'm up early and talking fast. Have to get outside. The reality is dawning that there's just not enough power. I picked up the parts. Right now, there's 56 panels, and I have four more that are three are in the over in the garage, and one of these original. This was 25. There's 24 up here. There's one. I'm going to gather them all up, and this is not a recent picture. So whenever this second phase was being done, there's not the spaces in between on the other side is 1 foot. What's 1 foot plus this much? These are packed closer together. This is not going to be able to put any panels in over here, but I can put two over here and two more up here. It's going to push them together more. So I'll give you pictures of that. And this section down here, there's going to be two more sections on the two more panels on the bottom, two more on the top, and then I'm going to reassess that. And if and then I think I might even just push them all together and see if I can get two more. I just go buy two spank brand new ones and maybe get it up even two more, trying to get as much as I can. And then see these trees right over here? It's about 4:30 in the afternoon. The sun starts darkening this side. Like, wait a minute. So I get more panels up, and then I have to get out there with a chainsaw and down, I don't know, 8 or 10 of these trees out here, which had to be done over on the east side. Now the west side has to be done. And then there's a few trees back here that need to come down too. I really should have done that before the ticks and chiggers came out. But that's what's on my to-do list to get done. I'm going to see how far I can get done today. And it's getting hot. At least I stand in the shade of the solar panels. But that's my objective today. So I'm going with what I have in my report right here. And my apologies, I couldn't use everything you guys sent to me. But some of what you sent me today, even yesterday, is going to go in tomorrow's report. So let's go to question and answers. Practice what you preach. Brian, I cannot believe you're at the Tom Cotton knowing what you know. This is especially true after you told your viewers and subscribers our government represents a waste of time. So you can stop and read the rest of this if you want. No, it's not a weak moment. I'm trying to resist the urge to criticize you, brother. There's a lot more going on here than apparently you're capable of realizing. But yeah, the entire system is corrupt. I know that. How many times you heard me say that? The entire system, even which I shouldn't even have to say even, all of them are corrupt. Tom Cotton among them. But if you have my Substack and you already read it, I started off with, you're my favorite. Whenever you're writing to your congressman, you have to be on their good side, not because I want to reply. It doesn't matter what he writes back. Whenever I was watching the video, Mario and Anthony were talking. They're going back and forth, and they're talking about how this is corruption. And if you did this in China or Russia or somebody, you'd be executed. And they kept using the word traitor. And I go, wait a minute. So I did a little research. The section 622 is the attachment that goes with the NDAA, the National Defense Authorization Act, that has to be passed every year. And there, section 224 from the House side, section 622, I found out the guy pushing it is my senator. Okay, so did you realize, do you know what section 622 has in it? Do you know what 224 has in it from the House? I'm attempting to raise awareness about this so that at least they know, because Tom Cotton was pushing all this through in May. I didn't realize it. We caught wind of Section 224, but not 622. So I was having some revelations, and as I'm doing the research, I'm not doing all this research for nothing. I want to get the best bang for the buck for my time spent and giving you guys the heads up. So this is the opportunity. This is my first time ever written, and maybe the last time ever I've written to Tom Cotton or any politician here. And back in the day, I used to write my congressman. I even went to my representative's office once. One time, years ago, over on 4th Street in St. Petersburg. But something was bothering me at the time. But so my objective was to get the post out to Substack. Then you guys can click on the links, lots of links, information, and you write your congressman if you want to, but it's not going to do any good. I don't think it's going to do any good. I think you're missing the intention, what I'm trying to do here. But whenever you're writing to me and you want to complain, then complain about my work and try not to attack me personally. Because when you attack people personally, sometimes they take it personally. I really just want to get up every morning, answer you guys' emails, and help you. And so bashing me is not going to get the desired result that you're looking for. So you might go on the poop list for a week or a month or forever, depending on how busy I am, how much time I have, and how many other people are writing to me. And whenever you're attacking me, the importance of what you're sending me goes down to the bottom of the list. And I'd really rather not see that happen. Whenever I know that you mean well, I mean well. We all mean well. Trying to do what's right in the eyes of our God Almighty, right? We're all going to be standing in front of Him and His Son to be judged accordingly. I have those things in mind. And just be careful about attacking your brother whenever we have common enemies and threats, situations. That was what we should be attacking together. So write to me about Section 622 and not without attacking me. I, hi, Brian. I know all the politicians are corrupt to the core, and writing will change nothing. So I use the opportunity to get the information out. It helps to everybody to see the corruption. It's just they're just rubbing our noses in it, opening the back door to Israel, joining them together with the CIA, Mossad and the CIA. They're already working together. They're all corrupt. They're already working against us. Doesn't matter what is in. The thing about this legislation is it makes it mandatory to share the information. It's already happening. God rewards for good works and the intentions of our heart. We have good intentions, as we set out to do. It doesn't always turn out that way, but the Lord God knows in our heart that's what we were going for. So stop using AI tools before it's too late. Brian, you're harping on the AI deal. And it takes me back to my great grandmother and changing the clocks. Couldn't do that. That's of the devil. And then all these things that are of the devil ever since. Smartphones. I was in the smartphone. I was on the flip phone bandwagon and using burners and don't want to be tracking this and that. And then one day I woke up and started using, and they track it out, everything. AI is tracking you, even if you don't have a cell phone, using the nanobots that you breathed in through chemtrailing. They got you any way that it goes. So pretend that you're being listened to no matter what you do, because you are. So AI, for the umpteenth time, we don't have to keep doing this. You know, the it's not the definition of insanity, but many attribute Einstein to saying that doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result, that isn't a form of insanity. You keep harping me about AI, and I'm going to keep telling you the same darn thing for the umpteenth time. AI is a tool like a smartphone, or a laptop, or electricity. It's a tool, and it can be used for good or bad. Everybody must decide for themselves. I don't tell you to use a cell phone or not to use a cell phone. Decide for yourself. Do your threat assessment. There are threats to it. Every time you go to a web page on your computer, you're leaving a footprint. There's a threat to it, but there's a benefit. It's a benefit using AI. You don't know what time it is. Say you ask AI what time it is, and you're saying no, don't ask AI. You're going to get lazy. Or I can, whenever something's happening and I have a question and I want to fill in that little blank, I can just ask AI that I can carry around with me, and I get the information, and then I can continue developing that idea in my own mind. Some people are going to be made weak and pathetic and lazy because they're going to depend on AI for everything. And some people, there are people out there right now. I know somebody that's about to do some work for me in modifying my Second Amendment tool, right? Your Second Amendment tool, it's of the devil. Don't use it because you can kill somebody with it. It's the same thing. Anyway, his business is expanding. He is giving seminars, getting on planes, flying around and giving people seminars. He learned to use AI to magnify his his work and his messaging, and other people are seeing that and saying, "Hey, come and speak to my people," because he's using the tool. Now, some people are being put out of work by AI, and other people are taking AI and putting other people out of work because they're becoming so efficient. So the people that were going and giving lectures, making presentations to these companies was somebody else before, now it's him. That's the way it works. We're in evolution. And you're either going to transition with it or you're going to go the way of the dinosaur. AI is part of that right now. I'm keenly aware. Threat assessment's what I do. I'm keenly aware that there are threats associated with AI. Big time, big time. I'm telling you, with flashing lights, there are threats that are out there. Super AI can commandeer every other AI on the planet. Super AI in the Denver Underground Arc City program. It is not man-made AI. It is something else. I've said it before what it is. Silicon-based life form is what it is. And they're all connected. And it can commandeer any silicon-based program, period. You can do that. So the AI that you're depending on can be turned against you. It can. It's a threat that's out there. And you decide for yourself. I'm not going to tell you to do it or not do it. Do your own research and decide. But there are people out there that are raking it in. Their businesses are exploding because they're learning to use AI. And there are people out there being put out of work. Now, where are you going to fit in? Decide for yourself. Wealthy Doomsday Bunker community is imploding. Tenants already at war. Karen sent this in. This is Canadian Paper Guy, Nate. And the key is strong leadership. The the that situation that he's talking about there is not unique among survival groups. If you must choose the strongest leader possible for your group. And of all your choices that you have 100 choices for a leader, and there might not even be the right leader among that 100. You have to go and find them, but you have to be able to recognize the threat. If you don't have strong enough leadership, then the egos within the group, that's what happened to the survival group program. Egos in the group, they're going to tear down and destroy everything. It's like a 10-headed monster. No, the monster needs one head, period. And everybody else in the group must turn over the leadership responsibility to somebody that is capable of doing the job. Turn over that responsibility to somebody that's not capable, and your whole system's going to come apart 100% of the time. You can't depend on luck. Choosing the right leader is the most important aspect of building any survival group. And most of them fail. Just like businesses, 80% of businesses fail. Only 20% are successful. The primary reason, according to my research, going back to Dale Carnegie selling real estate when I was 20 years old, because people cannot recognize the difference between activity and accomplishment. They're busy, 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 but not accomplishing anything, and they don't realize it. And they have enough activity, but not accomplishing anything. And then down they go. Lack of vision. And another key that I've discovered is that the strongest leader is the one that creates the environment that supports the weakest among them. With the egos at work today, the high and mighty attitude that people get, they forget that. Serve the smallest component among you. If that little infant or whatever it is safe, everybody else will be safe. When you start losing the weakest among you, they start getting weak and then they die. Everybody dies. You cannot maintain morale in a situation like that. There are not many George Washingtons running around that can hold everybody together. I couldn't. I can do it if that's all I have to do. I can't do these reports, do my prepping, and I can't do it. Adrenal exhaustion would kill me. 3 times in my life, I was on the slippery slope, getting ready to slide off into oblivion because I was trying to do too much. The survival group program, somebody else had to step up and nobody else could. That the right candidate just wasn't there. Now there are members in the survival group that have taken and they've made their council, they made their group, they made this, and they're out there doing their thing. Whether they're successful or not, I don't know. They don't tell me. And they don't need to tell me. I'm going to get you guys connected. That's my job. And then you guys do the rest. It's your responsibility. It's not mine. I just help you get connected. So without that strong leadership, competing egos assume control with too many heads pulling the group apart in every direction until ultimate failure. That's generally what happens. So the global elite, they don't have to go around putting poison pills into your op to make it fail. Generally, the survival group programs, they fail on their own. It takes great care, initiative. A lot of things have to be done the right way, like building a business. One thing wrong, everything fails. And then you have to make it's maintenance, constant. Keep all the oars in the water. It's very difficult on leadership, very stressful. Keep all the oars in the water and rowing in the same direction. What happens is people take the oar out of the water instead of rowing and helping the group move forward. They're, and particularly in our time right now, people are so selfish. They cannot. A high percentage of narcissistic egomaniacs. They can only think of themselves. They can't see beyond. They pull the oar out of the water. They start beating on other people. Kind of, Brian, what you're doing with me. No, wrong. You keep your oar in the water and you row the same direction that everybody else is going. If you want to be successful, if that's the objective, you have to get beyond your own personal pet peeves, your own personal. This AI, do not use it. I'm like, oh my God, Brian, what? If you're going to be part of a group, then you have to act like it. And right, you're not acting like it that you want to. It's extremely difficult, extremely difficult. I'm just using you as an example. You're the one that happened to be writing to me. Lawlessness increases. This is more insanity. You can't make this stuff up. Where the parents. This is the e-bikes. Children. I'll show you the video when we go through. They're taking their e-bikes. They're riding through malls. Lawlessness. Lawlessness. You have 40 million illegals running around. Lawlessness. Say Holman's doing this. No, he's not. That's all a smokescreen. There's more illegals in our country every day. Lawlessness. What's going on in Minnesota? The 9 billion or 18 billion, or whatever you're going to call it, in California, and it's lawlessness. So I had a little discussion with AI about the lawlessness in Minnesota. I just wanted to test it. AI is apologetic to no, zero I asked how many government officials are under indictment for the billions of dollars. Zero. How's that even possible? Nobody? No, it's the whole system's corrupt. I could not get AI to admit that. And it kept regurgitating the same apologetic. The investigations take a long time. They have to. No, they don't. It's a paperwork thing. Money transferred through bank accounts. It's fraud. That's felonies. They could be arrested and indicted and in jail already, and it's not happening because the whole system is corrupt. It is. So where are the parents now? These kids, the people spinning out in the intersections, take over the intersections, lawlessness. Cops just stand back and let it happen. Take a big step back and look. Lawlessness is being allowed to expand in our country. At some point, they're going to have to initiate martial law. They're doing it on purpose to control you and me, ultimately. That's what the data centers are about. This is all the same thing. The, manipulating the data. But that is not the only agenda that they have. They're building a prison state, but that's not the only agenda. This is multi-tiered, multifaceted. It's a gigantic tentacles going everywhere. Part of the objective is to use up the electricity and the water. Just do a little bit of research. How much power it takes and how much water it takes to run one of these data centers. And that's what we need to survive, right? Power and water. Wherever you get an apartment or you buy a house, what's the first thing you have to do? Hook up the power and the water, right? The sewer. Well, AI in the data centers, they need the same thing, power and the water. So they're with the illegals that are here. That's why part of the reason there's the housing crisis. See, all this stuff's festering together. Too many people and too small of a spot competing for limited resources. That's why the prices have to go up. Then you destroy the currency at the same time. That's why the prices have to go up. So destroy the supply chain, cut off the diesel. That's why the prices have to go up. The whole system is working against you and me. There's not going to be an end to what's going on in the Middle East. Talk about this peace plan and all that. This is BS. The whole thing is BS. It's not Trump and Netanyahu. How many times have you heard Trump's controlling Netanyahu? Netanyahu's controlling Trump. Neither one of them are in control. That's the smokescreen. If you think Trump is controlling Netanyahu or vice versa, you don't see it. You're being a dupe. These commentators seem more and more. I can't hardly watch Fox News anymore because they just lie to you. But then I'm going over to Colonel Daniel Davis and Mario and this and that. And they're dupes too. It's starting to get to me. This peace plan, everything. This is all a joke. Rinse, repeat, recycle, rinse, repeat. It's going over and over again. Trump's manipulating the markets for his billionaire buddies that are building the data centers. Kevin O'Leary, just Utah, the biggest one in the world, using the most power right in the middle of where they're running out of water and people can't get energy. Man, it's getting difficult. You think it's going to be a peace plan? I keep saying peace plan, peace plan. They're not even negotiating a peace plan. Memorandum of understanding is a memo. Did you get the memo? That's all they're talking about. This is supposed to build a framework so they can begin. The process they're talking about happening takes years to do. It goes different layers of negotiations before you finally get to the sovereign level. Most people can't even begin to understand how the process really, really works and where we are right now. On a scale of 1 to 10, we're still in the 1 range. Trying to make it with a memorandum of understanding, you're only going to get past phase 1 to get to 10 stages. Trump is running out. He's running out on his 120 days. 60 days he can do this phase. Oh, guess what? That phase is over. Now we're going to do another 60 days. He can skate by Congress. Now we're coming up on the next 120 days. Well, we're day 108, 109. It's in that number. I lost count. But he's coming up to where he has to do that again. So, oh, guess what? Another 60-day plan. Oh, here we go. So that's what's happening. And Trump is just jerking everybody around. It's not Trump, he's the puppet. It's the global bankster cartel. And increasingly, the Israeli lobby, the lobbyists, the PACs, the people that are buying off our representatives, the people you're not hearing about at all are the Council on Foreign Relations. That's where the lobbyists are working with out of Denver. They're working out of Denver. Nobody ever hears about that, but that's the truth. That's where they're working out of. They're the people that are developing the constructs that become our legislation. The, where do you think section the attachments to the NDAA? Where do you think they came from? Think congressmen sit down and wrote that out? No, they didn't write any of it. Council on Foreign Relations working groups. They put people in the offices of all of our. They have $500 trillion to work with. That's how corrupt the whole system is. It's not just Tom Cotton that's being bought off by him. Everybody is. And if you don't play the game, if you're a Massey, you're Marjorie Taylor Greene, if you're somebody that's not playing the game, you're going to be out. Okay, coin shop, a silver to $50 or to $500. Coin shop friend says he believes it could occur, the bottom falling out. However, since I've been waiting to find out, YouTube, he's right, it's lack of inventory. I've been telling you that. The exchanges are empty. It's a shell game that they're playing with paper and the silver that they have in their vaults. The banksters, the riggers, the JP Morgans, they are pushing paper back and forth. The silver's not moving. They're making it look like that there's a market and that things are happening when it's not. And what's going on down in Mexico, with the cartels and the largest provider, the silver is not going through the exchanges anymore. The Elon Musk, the different companies, people who build the iPhones, this and that, they're going around the exchanges and they're getting the silver directly. The global banks cartel is not ready to crash the system yet. When they do, it's going to be the silver derivatives bubble that's going to pop. The first derivatives bubble that's going to pop is going to be silver. That's why we keep an eye on it. But they can push the price down to $20. If they do, that's great. But wait a minute, you said it's going to go to the moon. If they push it down to 20 because part of their scheming, buy silver at 20. It's great. Identify your dip if you have the resources and buy and hold. That's it. The whole thing. The economy and the dollar will collapse when the banksters say so. Though silver will dip, dive, and go to the moon at the whim of the banksters. Unless you're among the inside bankers, your guess is as good as my guess. Your guess is as good as anybody's guess. You can go out there and watch 1,000 videos on silver, and they're all guessing. They don't know unless they're an insider and a bankster. But if they know exactly what the banksters are going to do, they're not going to tell you. They're not, or they won't continue walking around breathing air. Let's see. Seems like I'm supposed to have a bunch of exits here. Yeah, the 11th. This came in on Thursday. I almost thought this was last week's. Okay, this is St. Carlos Lake. Oh, the desert update. It's not just the U.S. West Coast, but the U.S. West Coast is drying out from the underside. Those magma pools are migrating around. They just don't have an escape hatch out there. They're looking for the escape hatch. Until then, the ground is getting hotter and hotter and hotter. The magma wave action is causing cavitation. That's affecting the dams, affects any big building that's heavy, heavy, heavy compared to what's around it. You're getting that background shaking. It's happening globally. So she checked Rainier, St. Helens webcams, and they're both still blank. Expect that's going to continue. So whenever they can't control the narrative, the global banksters, they can't control the narrative, then they have to control the webcams. They have to control the media. That's their command control mechanisms. Well, this one came in this morning. Someone climbing over your Karen's fence outside her bedroom wall again. Heard them stealthily moving around. They were clumsy and um, stupid, like they weren't clumsy and stupid like some of them. Um, you live in a dangerous area. That's a threat. So you can stop and read the rest of this if you'd like. Thank you for writing. Um, Motion activated lights, cameras, alarms, and cameras are parts of the security program. Do you have a dog? Barking dogs are great alarms to thieves. Whenever a thief hears barking dogs, particularly woof woof, big barking dog, they go to the next house. They go to the house that doesn't have a dog or an alarm system or a motion sensitive light. That's who they're looking for to victimize. The idea is to be the hard target. So whenever they step foot on your property, the spotlight shines on because you have a motion detector. Then you have these wireless alarm systems that detect motion, that make different sounds. When they come in this way, it makes a sound. Comes in that way, it makes a different sound. But the barking dog, when you come around here, the big dog generally is the one that's going to hear you first. Chris Como is right. If there is life off our planet, and the biggest headline is that's the biggest headline in our lifetime. And I say ancient races inside our planet are a bigger story. The evidence that they have, the ships and such that they have in Area 5 and all that, Area 51, terrestrial. They've been here. Um, oh, Ollie, I only read what shows up in my email. So I wanted to present this because some of you guys have been supporters for years and you're not properly using the Dropbox folder. It is so simple. It's really, really so simple. You don't need a Dropbox account. You don't just click on the link. I send you a 2026 Dropbox folder link notification email. It has the link, HTTPS Dropbox. It has a link here. Click on it. That's all you have to do. You don't need a Dropbox account, username, password, nothing. This is my link. Click on it in your browser on your cell phone, your browser, whatever you're doing, reach up and save it. That page right there. When a new newsletter is uploaded, you just go to the page and it'll show up right there. Download it, and you can read it online or you can download it. So the folder, yeah. I mean this is what I just put the link into the browser. Don't log in or nothing, and I'm seeing the seismic charts right there at the top. Scroll down. This is the newest newsletter, number 24 from yesterday, whenever this was written. You can copy to your own Dropbox if you want to. Copy to your Dropbox. Each of my newsletters come out if you have your own Dropbox account, and you can have Dropbox account for free. Or you can download it. It'll go to your downloads folder. Once it's in your downloads folder, it's yours. Share it with them. Put it on an attachment email. Send it to whoever you want. See, there's other dead astronomy reports. Stu Noodle's dead astronomy report. Pretty big. It's in the Dropbox. So just put it in there. It's pretty easy. PDF file will download to your Dropbox or your downloads folder if you don't have a Dropbox account. That's the way it works. It's really simple. If you're a newsletter subscriber and you're not accessing the Dropbox, then you're missing out on the newsletter. The one I'm about to show you, there's 52 newsletters in there. One's uploaded every Wednesday afternoon or Wednesday evening. The work that I do all week, starting last Thursday on this newsletter, I work on it all week and upload it to you. people write to me and they open it up. A lot of them open up on Saturday morning. They work all week. They're too busy to keep up with this. They open it up Saturday morning, and then they have 3 of my videos, including this one that's right here, the full Earth Change report. It's going to be made on Wednesday. And then you can go through this, and it'll be completed newsletter on Wednesday. And I'll go through all the data. And this, we happen to be on week 13. That's when we come into alignment with the black star. Okay, so last week, I was telling you, we only had one 7 magnet earthquake in week 12. I said, just wait to get to week 13, because this is when we pass between the 2 stars. That's why the N is here, the near side alignment, right here. So we had one 7 magnet earthquake, no 8s. This, including the 8, 1, 2, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, including the this recent quake, 7.6 Philippines. Okay, and then there are 3 of the 6 magnet earthquakes, and you see this C right here, that's Cuba. Both of these are near side alignment quakes. That doesn't happen very often. This one struck really, really early, the big one. This one is the one that struck when we were closer to the black star sun center line. And if you watch the video, I was able to conclude this is not gravitational. It's not a straight line thing. So my attempts to tell you exactly to the moment when this thing's going to strike are fruitless. It's like taking those high voltage wires, skinning off the insulation, and then bringing the wires closer and closer together, determining when the arc is going to happen. So depending on a range of variables, a lot of them, it's going to, and then sometimes you get an early jolt, and then you get a secondary jolt. Thing is, both of these quakes struck on the black star sun center line. So when I turn the Earth around, the Earth is going around 1,000 miles per hour at the equator, and whenever this lightning struck that triggered this quake, that epicenter is on the black star sun center line. So then I started thinking, that's what happened here. I had one earlier and one that struck near the line. That was the smaller magnitude quake, 6.1, 7.6. So then I go back in time and I go, wait a minute. What about those years that I didn't have a near side alignment quake? Like last year, 2025, I went and checked this guy out right here. What did it show me? This is Cuba right here, black star sun center line. This one here, 2018. This is the Chromatic Island, 6.1, exactly on the black star sun center line. And then 2000, one of these should be 2025. Here's Chromatic Islands, 2018. See, Australia, Chromatic Islands, right on the black star sun center line. This is it right here, 2025. Put in the exact time of the quake, 17:15 to within 30 seconds. PM. Look, this is Chile. See it? Black star sun center line. So some of these jolts are happening, but they're just not 7 magnitude earthquakes. So I went back and this was going to be a report. I may put it together as a special report. I updated my charts, and the report needs to be made at some point. I have the pictures all in a folder, ready to go. I'm doing too many things, and there doesn't seem to be a lot of interest, guys. There just does not seem to be a lot of interest in my work, period. Whether it's Mystery Explained, whether it's Black Star, it wouldn't matter what it is. Does not seem to be a lot of interest. The seems like the people that I'm helping is you are part of a group that I'm helping that is getting smaller by the day. By the time the Black Star gets here, I may be making videos, talking to myself. That's how it feels. Then I have to ask myself, where am I going to spend my time? I'm making this report, right? I made this special report and I'm going to continue making the reports, but I need to get outside. You have to decide where you're going to spend your time. It needs to be in creating better efficiency. I need to be tweaking my survival strategy. Get that out there and get those brackets cut in half, get them mounted, get the solar panels in there, get it hooked up, and get out there and cut those trees down. That's really what I need to do. So we're looking for, no, I didn't give you the averages. Oh, oh yeah, I did. 3.0 for the 6 magnitude earthquakes. See, the probability was that we were going to have a 7. We didn't have one 3 cycles in a row, but 2 of those 3, this one exactly on the black star sun center line, exactly on the black star sun center line. So we're looking for 3 of the 6 magnitude earthquakes. Remember, it's week 13, ended Saturday night at midnight UTC on the 13th, 2 days ago. 32 of the 5 magnitude earthquakes. Only had 19 last cycle. 27. See the diminishing numbers. We're up to 43, 28, 30, 27, 19. They're going on their way down. These look the similar numbers 2 years in a row. This one almost 3 years in a row. 290 to 300, and now 336 and 338. We'll see if this pattern continues here. If it matches this pattern, we'll have around 300. What? Right around 335, 340 quakes. So that's what we're looking for this week. Why 6 months? This is David Dubine. I shared that link with you guys this morning. 9 habits that kill your e-bike. I have an e-bike project going on. Not showing you a lot about that. I think did I share that with you? I think I made the pictures. When did that happen? Everything's kind of merging together. I'm running around like a chicken with my head cut off. I think I did show you I think I showed you those pictures. Anyway, pretty cool stuff with the e-bike. There's a lot of work to do with that. Bedding the brakes. They have disc brakes. Bedding the brakes. Yeah, if you just get on your e-bike and without reading the instructions, you can ruin your e-bike. Part of disclosure wasn't that you wasn't allowed to show you. You're going to see more and more about them. I've been telling you this for years. We're coming to a peak of this disclosure thing with the Spielberg the movie and all that. The global shipping crisis, 14 weeks. I shared a post with you here this morning. I didn't put these numbers down yet. I will by the time the newsletter is finalized. This will be updated on Wednesday. Anything else that I wanted to show you? Oh, nanosolar special still going. Take advantage while you can. Those of you with the resources, because it's likely, I mean, diminishing report and people running out of resources. It's a perfect storm for, well, it's what I'm seeing for myself, Project Black Star, and my projects with diminishing support is going on with everything. This is another indicator that the market is collapsing. The economy is collapsing. Discretionary income is diminishing and collapsing. Whenever you see an increase in gas prices, then for every penny, another billion. Every penny it goes up, another $1 billion comes out of the discretionary income. And it's gone up way more than a penny. And it's added to that is food. That takes discretionary income. So people are buying just necessities, and then they can't afford the necessities. That's what we're going through right now. So I get it. I understand. The I'm tightening my belt too. Thank God. I appreciate you guys that support me. I can still do some, get me some parts and upgrade my solar panel system and get my Second Amendment tool updated. to accommodate the ammo. Okay, this is the video that I was watching right here over the weekend. I was listening to Tony and Mario going back and forth, and Mario was just overwhelmed. He's really the perfect guy, 33 years old. He's the perfect guy to do these interviews. He's kind of naive, and that knowing everything makes you a poor interviewer. When you know more than your guest, makes you a poor interviewer. When you're kind of naive, then you have a lot of questions, and he's in that position. This guy has a lot of knowledge. He's the gold mine. This is the miner. He's digging it out for us. And it made me realize there needs to be more attention given to Section 622 from the Senate and Section 224 from the House, and how that the appropriations is compromising our intelligence, the CIA, all of our intelligence ops. The thing is, once that marriage happens, and it may be already too late, but once that marriage happens, you can't just unplug it. They're going to be interwoven. AIs are going to mind meld. If you're a Trekkie, you know what that mind meld thing is. Spock used to do. That's what they're going to do, and they've already done. It's already done. These additions to the NDAA makes it mandatory for it to happen. That's the insidious part of it. So I sat down and wrote. I should have been prepping, but I sat down and wrote my senator. Terrorism threat highest it's ever been amid FISA lapse, FISA courts. The or that is a rabbit hole right there. We could dive into the that's what catches up. The FISA courts and the warrants that are issued to spy on international people, terrorists and such. The reason that they do that is to get the Americans that are involved, and that winds up being this is this is the system that got Trump investigated and his people investigated. So they say, oh well, maybe we shouldn't do that. But this is a knee-jerk reaction to say, oh, we really need to have more of this FISA court action that's going on. So they let the lawlessness get out of hand, and then that leads us eventually to martial law. So think about it. Karen, you're feeling it. The more lawlessness is out there, the more people that are climbing over your fence, the more that you want martial law. That the fires are being stoked right now in every direction. All the lawlessness that you see that's happening for a reason, and it's being allowed to fester. Because that's Black Star causing earthquakes in diverse places. And the first thing, who do you think wrote to me and said, "Hey, it's misspelled"? Hey, who do you think? Brian. Yeah, because that's the spelling in the old King James. That's the way the old King James spells diverse. We added the E over here. So if you look it up in your New American Standard Bible, it's not going to look like that. But Greg Hunter had to explain himself too. If you look at the comments, you see he had to explain himself too. Brian, if you read the comments, Greg answered your question, by the way. And so thank you to Brian. And this time, rather than just the post, then I took some extra time and quoted him and then gave a reply. They say, USA Watchdog and Warren, because Greg made it a point to say, my friend, notice his video, watch the video, my friend, these guys are buddies. Me and Warren, or me and Greg, we're not buddies. I'm too risky. I'm a hot potato. Have been following the progression of the Black Star since April 2025. I'm just, oh my God. April 2025. You guys have been at this for a while. Not. Tarot03.com has been tracking the Black Star using the Earth chain patterns and related Earth changes since January 2011. Then I sent them to the Michael Snyder. And there's one post. Just follow the links. This one right here. You can have access to all the charts and everything. You don't have to be a Dropbox folder, a newsletter subscriber. You don't have to pay me $25 a year. You can just download the data in this post that's right here. For anybody paying attention that wants to do the deep dive. The the thing that me personally, the thing that I notice is generally the people that are running around watching, they want to be entertained. It's an entertainment thing. If your videos aren't entertaining, if the action-packed entertainment, then you just really just want to help people and you're sharing information, data, raw data, emails to geophysicists and stuff, then you're you're not going to make it very far as as for publishing your works or anything like that. So after everything has been transpired, now we go all the way back to square one with Iran. No, we're not going back to square one. We're way worse off than we were on February 27th. I would argue that the U.S. is far worse off today than February 27th, 2026. The world does not have another 60 days. So, oh, let's go another 60 days. We don't have another 60 days. Fuel rationing has begun. This is what's going on in India. Now, India is the canary in the coal mine. Let's watch and see what happens in India, because when you see rationing, Mad Max comes out. Like Gaza and Hezbollah, when the food is rationed to the people, the emergency food comes in, so the people rationing, Hezbollah comes in and gets it, and they give it to who they want. That's what happens. That's coming here to the United States. So just keep watching India. That's what's coming here. Then Morandi, really good reporting. I agree with much of what he says, and he doesn't know. At 2 o'clock in the morning, he was being interviewed, and all the reporting that was done was fake, all of it, because they hadn't even come out of the meeting until it was about midnight Eastern Standard Time. It was midnight his time, and all the reports coming out saying there was a peace deal. No, there's not even a peace deal now. Iran peace deal. Catastrophic for Netanyahu. There's not a peace deal yet. There's a memo that says these are the points that we understand. In order to have a peace deal, you have to have a certain amount of trust, and there is no trust because the Americans, Trump, are liars. They say one thing, and 10 minutes later, they'll say something different. That's been the pattern all along because they're manipulating the markets. So Trump comes out and talks, says there's a peace deal, price of oil goes down into the 80s. His buddies come along and they buy it. And then it goes up, and then it goes down and up and down. If you know the news cycle and you know when Trump is going to say something, you can go short and go long, go short and go long. The puts and all that. And make hundreds of billions of dollars. That's what they're doing. It's a giant game, and they're playing with the lives. People are dying from starvation, and they're going to continue to die. Starvation. Why this game is being played? It's the banksters it's the banksters, period, that's running the show. They're using these tools that are at their disposal, and that includes the Israeli lobby, very, very, very powerful, and these PAC groups that are funding, that are bribing our government officials and everything else. That's what's going on behind the scene. I see them, as like I wrote to you guys this morning, the banksters. They're using Ukraine, that you're not hearing about very much yet, and they're using Iran to weaken the West. That's what's happening. The whole world is suffering, but remember, it's them against us. It's the haves against the have-nots. Even the BRICS nations, people are suffering, and they're going to continue to suffer. And then the elite are going to run to the underground cities and leave us all hanging out to dry. Godzilla El Nino, that has now begun, could do trillions of dollars in damage. It's not just the damage, it's the starvation. The breadbasket, we're getting ready to have Dust Bowl environment in the Midwest. It's already turning into a dust bowl for a lot of people in Nebraska, and it's going to continue to get worse. Black star gets closer. The ground is drying from the underside, from the magma super plume, and then the horn formations come up, and then the regional magma, the super hot magma that upwells. It pushes up and it's super, super hot. It's not supposed to be up there, but it is because of the super plume and those horn formations. Magma that's far too hot and far too lightweight pushes its way up to the surface and then begins migrating laterally, pressed up against the tectonic bottom of the tectonic plates. Sort of like worn out motor oil, very thin viscosity, and it's being pushed. It's the pressure, and it's conducting that heat, and it's burning the tectonic plates, causing the temperature to rise. That's drying out the moisture from the underside up, and it's a global phenomenon. I'm showing you these the Antarctic and the South American bulge, the continental bulges, African bulge, the Eurasian bulge. Well, that wave coming from the south to the north is pulsating like a heartbeat, and those waves are coming through, and that magma, the background cavitation is shaking, and at that shaking, put your milk in your sugar in your coffee and don't stir it. And what happens? You still have black coffee sitting on the top. Stir it, and everything mixes together. That's what the cavitation, the background shaking does. Causes it all want to mix together. And that weakens foundations. It's a global phenomenon. The heartbeat is pulsing from the southern hemisphere of our planet where the black star magnetic portal connection is connecting and disconnecting, connecting and disconnecting, connecting and disconnecting, adding heat, heat, heat. Then the pressure builds in the south, and then it pushes north, and it's coming in waves. That's generally I'm describing that on Wednesdays in the full report. So this is just going to add. What did I write? The coming extreme hot weather. We're getting ready to have high pressure dome to beat the band. Merging from the west, pushing to the east. The combination of hot weather and World War III scenarios are creating a perfect storm that transition high food prices into fuel and food rationing, ushering in increased lawlessness. This is the David Dubine video right here. The next food crisis is here. Most people are ignoring it. This is 2 weeks old. I didn't have something newer to share with you. It's not being covered as well as it should be. People are going to be caught by surprise. 2+ million head of beef capacity just vanished. We're already at 1959 levels. And it's going backwards. Historic energy squeeze is locked in. U.S. oil inventories have fallen for 7 weeks in a row. Global oil inventories will soon hit the lowest level ever recorded. We're already to that point. World War III restarting, happening as the economy is set to implode. The dollar crash is imminent. Negative wages broke the economy. Let's share this with you guys. Seems like a week ago now. Russia's new warning shot from space. This is I've been telling you. Iran is using technology provided by the Russians and the Chinese to overcome the Americans. Same thing we've been doing, this tit for tat. We've been using Ukraine and doing that. That's how the drone has such success. The drone campaign against Russia is having so much success because we're providing satellite telemetry and everything that they need to make that happen. Well, Russia's not stupid. They see that. They have capabilities in space beyond what we have. Now the tit for tat's going to work against us. So you saw the recent outage in Europe. That's whenever it was happening, they say, "Oh my God, GPS went out." And I told you when it happened what was going on. The Russians did it. They are probing. They're testing defense capabilities. That's what you do first before you attack somebody. You do something just like this. You use your resource, your element from space, turn off GPS, see how they respond, to get everything back going again. And then you know what to do You test them and you keep testing the enemy until you realize how they're going to react, and then you can perfect your attack. That's what the Russians are doing right now against Europe. If you have the resources, get your gold and get your silver. I recommend silver if you have the resources. Is there anything else that I missed? I think we're ready to just go through the links. Okay, and a lot of these, they just came in. They're not articles. They're not anywhere. Israel, entire cities are plunged into chaos. Millions of Israelis are fleeing. They've been doing that. They've been going to, a lot of them are going to Greece. They're getting the heck out of Dodge, wouldn't you? There's no way I would live there. So the banksters are using Netanyahu, who's in between a rock and a hard place. Netanyahu, he's being squeezed. His head's going to explode. But it's the banksters that are manipulating him. They're the attacks against Lebanon. It looks to me they're not going to stop. And that's going to be what kills the deal between the Americans and Iran. Now, this is stop using AI.
This is going to be a time of seductions and enticements. Think about AI for a quick second on that. I'm shocked at the amount of believers using AI. It is. I don't want to be despair. I don't want to cash aid, but I'm about to. Stop using AI. Are you kidding me? For comfort and convenience and ease of access, use the brain God gave you and do your own research and do your own designs and do your own whatever. Make your own thumbnails for your stupid YouTube videos or whatever you're doing with it. Stop using AI. It is a seductive enticement, and you are literally feeding the beast system with your metadata that is going to enslave you and one day ultimately behead you. Everybody tracking on that? I'm shocked by the ministers, the preachers, and the teachers, and the YouTubers, and the Christian truthers, and they're using AI for all this junk. It is pulling in everything. It is seductive. It is an enticement.
Oh boy, chocolate is an enticement. Don't eat chocolate. So I already went through that with you. Make up your own mind. I know people that are extremely successful because they're using AI. I know people that are out of work because of AI. And likely you're somewhere in between. And I can't say I use it a lot, but I use it for some things. And I'm going to continue to, no matter what anybody says. Are there threats? Absolutely. Every time you walk outside the door, every time you get in your truck and go to town, then you may not come home. Living, just your heart beating is a threat because it might stop. One day it will, right? Unless we get raptured. But telling me that I need to not ask AI what time it is. I need to get up and I need to go and look at a clock. I really need to do that because I'm going to get lazy. To me, that's BS. Sorry, it is. I use it for some things. I never use AI to make a thumbnail or any of the other stuff he's talking about. I write all of my reports. AI has never written one word for me, but I do use it for some things. I like to brainstorm with AI. Going back and forth. I like to probe, find capabilities, ask it hypothetical questions, see where it's going to go, and then bring in some data. Say, go look up this data, and then see how that changes things. And as I'm doing that, I'm formulating hypotheses on different things. And it's great. I like it. And I'm doing mental exercises that I wouldn't do otherwise. So yes, it can affect people and make them lazy, and maybe they'll just vegetate and die in their chair. Who knows? That's not the way that it's been for me so far. So if my ideas change on that, I'll tell you. It's just another tool. I'm not telling you to use it. I'm not telling you not to use it. You make up your own mind. This is the mud fossil guy. I mean, this guy, it's Mud Fossil University is the great name for this guy right here. He does a lot of great work and everything. Mud fossil comes to my mind. Mud fossil. The land of giants. There's a lot of evidence to support that previously. This is a 2+ million head of beef capacity just vanished. What it means, and this is going to continue to get worse. Think about it. The wheat belt is under assault right now. The grains that you need to put the feed together to feed diminishes. The ranchers are forced to either pay really, really high prices or to sell their beef while the price is high to get the money they need, you see? So as the price of beef goes up, more ranchers are incentivized to slaughter their cows. But it takes 3 years to bring that back. So we're coming to a choke point where there's going to be not enough. There's 40 million illegal aliens, and they're getting benefits that regular citizen doesn't have. They're able to afford the meat. So more and more American citizens are falling through the cracks. That's by design. Global banks cartel, that's what they're doing on purpose. 9 habits that kill your e-bike. Stop doing this. Rough riding is number one. Bouncing up and down, the lithium batteries don't like that. More so than the old style batteries. Charging your battery too fast. It's lithium batteries in general. You don't want to overcook them. And you have to let the batteries cool before charging. So you're using your e-bike, right? You're going to town. You get off of it, you plug it in. No, you don't. It's going to be its maximum temperature right when you get off your bike. And then you're going to let the thing cool down before you charge it. That's a big mistake that a lot of people make. Then wide temperature ranges. Letting it let it freeze, and then it's sitting in 100 degrees, and then you let it freeze, and that's going to degrade your batteries. So the batteries that are on this property are in a controlled environment. They're in the power shed, or they're in the man cave. They're insulated with AC units. And then when you're storing them, between 20% and 80% is optimal. 20 and 80, not full. You don't store full batteries. The thing that a lot of people don't realize is your chargers, like you have tools and they run on your batteries. Ryobi, I have a lot of those. Whenever you charge it and it goes to 4 bars, it's not 100%. So you're thinking, oh, I need to stop it at 3 bars and then store it. Well, yeah, the optimum is 20 to 80%. About 50% is probably perfect for storing your battery. But whenever you fully charges and stops charging, it's at 80. It's not at 100. So the manufacturers, they know this, and they make their charging units um, accordingly. But if you are able to get around, you're using a different kind of charger. Never charge your batteries to 100%. Never charge them and leave them just sitting at 100%. You don't want to do that. Leave them at 80. That's fully charged if you're using the manufacturer's charger. Then if you're storing through the winter, 40 to 60% is generally where you want to be, and you always use the recommended charger, not the aftermarket chargers. Those are the points that he made in the video. Some of the things that I haven't ridden my e-bike yet. First thing I have to do is bed the brakes. You know what I'm talking about? You think you're just going to get an e-bike and has disc brakes, you're just going to go out, or your motorcycle, you know, buy a brand new motorcycle, you have to bed the brakes. Disc brakes, you think they do it at the factory. You let a machine do it, but they don't. The worst thing you can do is go out there, go 20 miles an hour, and just hit the brakes and lock them up. You don't want to do that. You start off, I'll just tell you briefly. See, this guy says at 10 miles per hour. Some of them say 15 miles per hour. See, this guy says 15 miles an hour. You want to go slow, 10 miles an hour, and then you engage the brakes, but you don't lock them up. You just engage them and you slow down, and you do not stop. Take it down to 2 miles an hour and then go off again. So you just let it, let it burn a little bit, and then you go again. Get it up to 20. Do that 15 times. Go 15 miles an hour and you go down to 2. 15 miles an hour, down to 2. 15 miles an hour, 15 times. And then you go for the front and then the back. You do them separately, the front and then the back. And then you go 20 miles an hour and you engage the brakes. Don't lock them up. 20 miles an hour down to 2. Don't come to a full stop. 20 miles per hour down to 2. Do that 15 times, front and back, and then you're done. Bedding the brakes. That's what it is. Otherwise, you're going to ruin your rotor. Your rotor's going to have a shorter life. It's going to create bumps on it, and then you're going to start wearing the caliper part and the disc, and so on and so forth. This is the video. Next 6 months. This is 3 hours and 48 minutes. And this is as far as I got right here. And I realized this is the video to share with you with the Super El Nino that's coming. You know, the Super El Nino, the cause of it, and why it's super, because of the migrating magma, the super hot magma pushed. It's frothy, like it's real thin. It was only discovered 4 or 5 years ago because it comes from around the horn formations of the super plume. So scientists discovered these migrating pools, and they're going, hey, look, they're thinking that it's normal, that it's been there. We just haven't noticed. Nope, it's new, caused by the super plume. This is the e-bikes.
Chaos when teens on e-bikes and mini motorcycles took over the store.
Yeah, lawlessness. It's going to keep getting worse. CIA intelligence secrets. If you haven't seen it, check them out. Listen to Lieutenant Colonel. See Lieutenant Colonel. He is on the case. Terrorism, highest level. Showed you this. Black Star causing earthquakes in diverse places. Been a Black Star investigator since April 2025. So in case I've said it before, some of you guys write and say, hey, this guy's stealing your research, stealing your work. I've traded emails with him. I've sent him all my work. He can, if anybody, if you guys, you notice you can go and get it free. I just said you can get it free. If you can help somebody wake up and prepare, that's what it's all about. And I told him, use any of my work that you want. If you can wake somebody up and help get them to prepare. He's in the Ozarks. I'm in the Ozarks. So you cannot steal my work if I'm giving it to you, right? I wish they would have me on and let me straighten them out on some of the stuff that they don't have right. But if I'm too controversial for Greg to even, I mean, he answers my emails every now and then, 1 sentence, 2 sentences, about like Michael Snyder and Weston. Weston said that he was going to stop in December, and I'm glad that he didn't. Get out there. I'll keep making posts. You keep doing the interviews. Everything he's saying is not factual. Some of what he's saying is. If you know the difference, I'm going to take the opportunity and send you to my posts. Historic energy squeeze is locked in. Trump is selling off our reserves. He's making us as weak and feeble as possible. People don't even realize it. You think he's for the people and all that? Please. So after everything that has transpired, now we go back to square one. Nope. U.S. dollar hegemony is being shattered. U.S. military hegemony shattered. The world is transitioning right now. Little countries, I'm waiting for the day that Cuba beats our tail. A little country like Cuba can hold off the United States, just like Iran has, if they have the right equipment and they have the backup of the Russians and the Chinese who are down there right now. They're getting Cuba ready for us right now. That's what they're doing. Asymmetric warfare. No, the world's waking up and they realize the United States is a paper tiger. The United States defending Saudi Arabia, that's what Bretton Woods is all about. Since the 1970s, Kissinger, and the reason people use all those dollars for all these years. But now people going through the Strait of Hormuz, they're going to have to pay in yuan or in something other than dollars. Some of those ships that are stuck in the Persian Gulf, they're not getting out because they want to continue using US dollars. They want to continue to be allies with the United States instead of kissing the ring of the Ayatollah. But that's where it's headed. I made mention to you guys that behind the scenes, even the United Arab Emirates, all the Arabs, they have to make deal. They all have to make a deal with Iran. They have to. Their neighbor is a big bully. They have to, because the United States cannot protect you. They're having to wake up to that reality. And some people are thinking United Arab Emirates would never do that. They just left OPEC. They just did this with Israel and that with Israel and this with Israel. Yeah, that tells you that they're flaky. They'll switch on a dime and go back and forth, which means they'll switch on a dime and go jump in bed with Iran. If it's existential, if it means their existence, that's what any nation would do. So the United States is going to be told to get out. Stop using our bases. Come get your equipment. Come get your personnel. You guys got to get out of here. That's what's going on in a new NATO-like alliance in the Middle East. That's what has to happen. You're just not hearing about it. So I said, was it a month ago? That's what has to happen. That's what has to happen. And now I'm hearing a little bit of commentary coming from McGregor that it was one of them that said that there's backroom deals that's happening. That's what has to happen. And the Americans are on the short end. And then from that experience, the whole world's going to wake up and realize, holy cow, the Americans are weak and pathetic. We need to get away from them too. That's what's happening. Godzilla, that means the United States cannot export its inflation. That's what having the World Reserve currency allows you to do. The Fed is exporting the inflation so it doesn't hurt you and me. Well, they're losing that ability. So perfect storm with the weather, with the war, and with the dollar hegemony. Do you think you've seen inflation? You have not seen inflation yet, like we're going to have. People's minds are just going to explode from the inflation that's coming. Give us past, you'll really see signs of the hyperinflation that's already here. Hyperinflation is already here. If you're on the bottom rungs of the socioeconomic ladder, then there's it's pushing on 1 million people living in their cars right now. The hyperinflation's already affected them, and it's going to continue going. The bottom of our socioeconomic ladder is crumbling, and it's going to continue to go upwards until it gets everybody eventually. So it's high prices and then availability. If you're willing to pay the price, you'll be able to get the stuff that you want for a while, and then slowly shelves empty. New warning shot from space. This is far more developed than being shared in this article. Far, far, far more developed. Rail guns in space. Have you heard anything about rail guns in space? Because it's out there. BRICS has it. China, Russia, they have it. But they're not going to reveal their hand now. Some headlines from the Lioness of Judah. I highly, highly recommend her. She used to do this daily. Now she does it like twice a week. She was in the hospital, came out. She does some really, really great work. Support her if you can. I want to comment on some of the headlines. None of these made it into the newsletter. Iran foreign minister, deal with U.S. never been closer. This is the same BS that we've been hearing. U.S.-Iran deals. Keep seeing deal, 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 deal. It's not going to be a deal. To have a deal, you have to have like-minded people, like-minded parties, trust underlying that underpins everything. Trust. If you don't have any trust, you're not going to have a deal. Not anything that's going to last. So it was going to be signed over the weekend. Remember, now it's going to be signed by Friday. Give Trump a chance to manipulate the markets again for his billionaire buddies. And so much can go wrong, and Israel's the wild card. And they say, well, Netanyahu can't do that. He has to stay out of jail. Netanyahu's not calling any shots any more than Trump is. It's the banksters. The whole system comes down when they say so. Meanwhile, they are siphoning the resources out of the West as fast as possible. Suffering is going to continue to increase. U.S. deal to include dismantling Iranian nuclear program. They already said that's a non-starter. Iran's a sovereign nation. Like Pakistan, India, North Korea, they have nuclear programs. The United States is in no position to be dictating because the United States lost the war. Trump claims Tehran leaked false details about the terms of potential. That's Trump tweets something, Truth Social something or whatever, when he's lying, and then what does he do? The Iranians come out and say, oh, well, we don't know what he's talking about, and then Trump lies about his lie to manipulate the markets. When you realize it's market manipulation, everything makes sense. U.S. ground mission to capture Iran's uranium paused by Trump. It's just a joke. You know, the pilots that were downed and everything, that was a cover for their mission. When we lost all those aircraft, the United States got caught with its pants down, lost a bunch of aircraft. The cover story, we were trying to go after uranium. And the whole thing is stupid. Because just imagine that you're the Iranians and you have this uranium. You think you're going to put it all in one spot? That'd be stupid. No, you're going to put it in a bunch of spots. If you lose one, you're still in the game. There is absolutely no way the United States has the capability to go in and take all the uranium. It's not going to happen. All it's going to do is get Iran's neighbors killed. Tit for tat. So the more Trump pushes that, we're going to go get your uranium and, oh, we're going to take your oil, the more everybody suffers in the Middle East. That destroys the trust that must underpin any negotiations. And like I said, the negotiations, that takes a couple of years to do if everything's done right. It goes through stages. Trump doesn't have the patience to go through that process, in my opinion. He doesn't have the people in place. Nothing like that. He has neocons. He has Israeli operatives doing negotiations, and they know it. The Iranians know it. They don't trust Trump. U.S. down Iranian drones targeting commercial shipping in Strait of Hormuz. Yeah, it's difficult to tell what's true and not true. For me, I mean, they're going to be propaganda both ways. You're never going to get the whole truth, but the Iranians are a better source than the Americans. The U.S. plans to deport Iranians to Central African Republic. They're afraid of, anyway, these are some of the headlines. They're afraid of 20 people, the risk of torture if they come back. Propaganda, likely. Report, and you have millions and millions and millions and millions of illegals here, and these are 20 are the ones that they're concerned about. Report says UAE to release billions of dollars. UAE must do something. The UAE, I have a mental image of them. Prison yard. They're the weakest, most pathetic, scrawniest little guy in the prison yard that needs protection from everybody. He can't just buy off Bubba and get his protection. You got to buy off Bubba and the other bad guys. Then so I've heard a lot of stories. I used to drop by the jail to pick up my work or some of my workers on work release and such. They tell you all kinds of stories and people that have been in prison and this and that. This guy right here, I mean, I've heard hundreds over the years, hundreds of stories. The UAE reminds me of the guy would tell me about. They call them Skittles. What was the other word? Skittles, something or other. These are the guys that are in jail or in prison that use Skittles candy as makeup. They use the red ones, the blue one. Oh, I've never even bought Skittles, so I don't know. They just told me. They use it as makeup to make themselves up to be more desirable to the inmates that they have to get protection from because they have to provide favors to them. They twist up their t-shirt, give them to make themselves look different, and they look like girls and stuff. UAE reminds me of that. They're the weakest one out in the food chain that's out there, them and Kuwait. They don't exist unless they dance to the tune of the Iranians and the Americans for a while, but then eventually it's just going to be the Iranians, in my view. They're going to wind up back in OPEC. They're going to wind up being yes men, or they're not going to exist anymore. They're going to be done. Lebanon won't back down from Israel talks. Well, Lebanon's just being just obliterated, but now much of Israel looks like Lebanon and Gaza. U.S.-led effort to boost Lebanon's army emerges as key pillar of Hezbollah disarmament. This is just a fake story. Hezbollah's not going to disarm. It's not going to happen. The reason that Hezbollah has weapons is to defend against Israel. You think Israel's going to drop its weapons? That's a nuclear nation, and they're murdering people. Hezbollah is the response to that. It's a natural, like the Revolutionary Army led by George Washington. It's natural it's a natural response to oppression. They must exist, and they must be armed. They cannot disarm. You think that Israel's the only enemy that's out there? There's power struggles amongst all these groups. If you pull the teeth out of any of the sharks, all the rest of the sharks are going to eat them. Just think it through. The lions, declaw, defang, any of the lions, and they're going to be eaten by the rest of them. It's the wild west out there, and Hezbollah has to stay armed. Stop murdering your neighbors, and Hezbollah won't have to shoot rockets over into your country. UNRWA fires 70 Gaza workers over links to Hamas. Well, Hamas, like Hezbollah, and both are global entities now, and Hamas bigger than Hezbollah. If you're a CIA surrogate, they've been used by the CIA. You have access to these resources. You're global, and you're not going away. You could level the entirety of the Gaza Strip, kill every single human being. Hamas is still going to be an entity. That's just the way it is. And they're going to be resistance to Israel to the end, no matter what. And even if they all had truce, peace, what's going to say Israel doesn't start up again? What's going to be your response? Hamas and Hezbollah. President Trump posts unclassified footage of U.S. military executing infamous blah, blah, blah. Judge orders Trump administration to reinstall slavery in climate change exhibits. Okay. I just want to comment on some of those headlines. Didn't have time to put it in the newsletter. Kariba Dam is falling. What it means for African hydropower. This is a big old power plant. And it's not just what's going on in the U.S. West. It's not just Lake Mead. This is a global thing. It's more and more prevalent in the northern hemisphere as those waves continue coming south to north. And you get that background. It's like a giant coming in the distance. After a while, it starts shaking everything in the house.
You wouldn't believe it if I told you.
China's rural economy, empty shops. A lot of what's happening in China is biblical proportions. Everything's exaggerated. Their weather.
We need to talk about Disclosure Day, Steven Spielberg's big alien movie.
Yeah, this part of Operation Disclosure, Project Disclosure. It's been it's been ongoing for the last 20 years. It's now trying to come to a head, and this movie is part of it. For me, you don't have to be tricked by anything that they're going to do. The holograms, you don't have to be tricked by it. The the guardians of this planet, the custodians of this planet, are inside the planet. They're reptilian amphibious races. A lot of what you're going to see with their crafts and things like that, that's who it is. And the thing is, it doesn't matter if it's CIA, CFR, global banksters, they can't control them. They can point over there and say they're over there. None of them has the authority to be able to say, if you do this, if you expose the reptilian amphibious races, that we are going to do this against you. That's not going to be they're not going to try to manipulate you or control you to keep you from doing anything about the internal races. The internal races will do that. If you go down there and you take pictures, you're not going to be able to keep whatever you do. You're not going to be able to change anything in their timeline. If you do, they can go back in time and change it. So it never happened. They're the powers that be, the people at the higher ups, the Denver CIA, the Denver FBI, the CFR working groups, they know the power of these internal races. And they know that you can't do anything to change anything about them. They're in charge. They have been for millions and millions and millions and millions and millions and millions and millions of years. And it's not going to change. But they've got some of the technology, and they're going to bring this out to manipulate you and me, to give us all a common enemy so we're all working together, but it's all delusion. So don't be tricked by it when it happens. Oh yeah, this is my update report. This is the new channel and everything, and I have to say I was disappointed. It's one of the reasons that I'm not making. Maybe I'll make this new report and Substack it, maybe. But there's really a lot of prepping to do. But I wrote, um, this Substack, and it went to about 3,000 of you. And how many people subscribe to the new channel? Take a guess.
Going to be a little bit of confusion. I'm realizing now after posting my post.
The answer is,
What's in appears
stop
in
it.
the newsletter.
The answer is 40. 40 people said, okay, I'll subscribe over here out of 3,000 Substackers and subscribers at Brighteon and this and that. So this tells me that people aren't really paying attention to what I'm doing. If you are, then you're an extreme minority of people. The silver riggers, blah, blah, blah. I shared, wasn't this one? 1 trillion off balance sheet AI time bomb. The time bomb is going to explode. And people are thinking that the AI bubble and all that's going to pop, it's going to be over. This is a mechanism to bring down the system, but the infrastructure, the elements of the prison state are not going to stop. The global banks cartel has $500 trillion that I know of to build the prison state. They're going to build it. It's going to keep being built. And they're going to use your money to do it and your money to keep it running. But they have 500 trillion if it doesn't. So when the bubble pops, people are thinking, well, okay, now the prison state stops. No, that's one of the mechanisms for taking down the system. Fuel rationing has begun. Oil inventories, 20-year lows. Well, inventories are the lowest since the records are being kept. Haven't checked this one out. We are entering the final stage in the age of geological, financial, and social chaos. God bless you. Do you ever check these out? Good common sense question and answers. They are going to try to get you to buy gold and silver, obviously. But where the rubber meets the road, day-to-day life questions, they give good common sense answers. I like them. They do this, I think, on the weekends. Trying to raise your awareness. Look down in the 70s, barely. This means people are believing the lies. This is a good barometer. So it goes down the 70s and Trump's buddies buy. Then there's going to be new news and it goes sky high. So they're going short and long and making hundreds of millions of dollars. Sovereign debt crisis has already begun. Iran just lit the fuse. Iran's not lighting any fuses. It's the global bankster cartel. Using Iran, using Ukraine to drain resources of the West. This is up 500. The market's liking the it's being in a room and the speaker's talking and everybody in the room except me is believing the lie. So the market's going up. I mean, you can play the market. Listen to Trump. You can play the market like his bankster buddies. You just got to know when to sell and get out. I mean, if you have resources for that, I don't. Silver price pushed down to 71. Look at that. It was down to 64. Remember I told you 62 is the floor. 62, 62. If it breaks down below 62, 52 is the floor. So it pushed down to that. Now it's back up to 71. I mean, on Thursday, if you bought 64 on Thursday, you're looking pretty smart, right? Buy the dips and hold. 71. That's going to be what, 81? No, 78, down into the 9% range. Oh, 10%. Shanghai. The producers, the ones that need their silver, they're enjoying this. It was only a year ago that they were buying whenever the price dropped below 30. Now their numbers obviously quite high, much higher. The price of gold up 142, up 3%. And the ratio is hovering just above 61 to 1. Silver gold ratio 952-213-8930. Hit that button right there and you get your spreadsheet to see what's available, what the price is, what the markup is. And then you call Justin right here and get your hands on small denomination silver. I recommend the Walking Liberties if they have them, Buffalo Rounds if you're in the rounds, and then Constitutional Silver. The Cuba struck on the Black Star Sun center line. It darn sure did. Good post. Trying to spend more effort giving you guys some good information over at Substack. Coming to the alignment and the new data. Binary bioweapon activation day is coming. It's just not here yet. At some point, biological weapons are going to be activated. I know most people don't believe a word I say. You're being played. Trump is a Pied Piper. I think more and more of you can see that Trump's playing everybody. Take advantage of the special. Have your orders in by 8 a.m. Central Time on Friday. Tracking numbers Friday afternoon. Deliveries 22nd and 23rd. Get a copy of my book, The Mystery Explained, Seeing God's Wisdom Hidden in Plain Sight. I know. Most people just don't see it. That's the commonality in all my work. And I'm not really surprised. So, commonality. Truth of 9/11, just really difficult to see. And then when you tell people, it's too fantastic to believe. With the black star, you can be looking right at it and you cannot see it. Micro lensing. God's hidden wisdom, it's right in front of everybody's noses and they just can't see it. And when you try to point it out, they think you're a crazy person. Common denominator. Vehicle protection, home protection, solar panel protection. I have one of these, and one of these, and it's all protected by military grade equipment. Make sure you click on from my website. Save $50 each device. I do believe they have a Father's Day sale going. One of them do. These are a little bit more density in the concentration, just average wind speed. Zero concerns about what's coming off the sun. Texas lake drops 81%, shocking 6 billion of water gone overnight. Expect this is going to continue. People are going to be shocked, if you're not already, of drying up lakes. People are going to be driving through lake beds where lakes just disappear. That's what happens. And we're first day of summer is not even here yet. Wait till the summer. So I have to have my panels up because we're needing more air conditioning. And I'm looking at the inverters, how they're working, and looking at the batteries, and I had to raise the temps on some of the AC units as a tweaking. Otherwise, we're just going to run out of power. Happens when you have some cloudy days like we've had. So I'm trying to increase capacity so that I can stop tweaking. Tornado Alley is moving. It's moving gradually to the southeast. Where's more people? Not as many people. Tornado Alley up through here in the United States. It's moving this way. It's going to affect highly populated areas more and more. I looked at the predictive map, and it's pushing through Arkansas further south and east of us. 20 million Americans in the Pacific Northwest to endure potentially record-breaking heat. I do believe this was shared with you this morning. It's going to start in the west, and it's going to continue moving eastward. Fatal earthquakes crack open Crater Lake. Over 700,000 Americans on death zone alert. Crater Lake cracking open. And you guys know the reason why. That migrating magma and those waves coming from the south to the north. World's biggest dam collapse has begun. This is Kariba, Africa, the one that I was telling you about. Lots and lots of people getting ready to have big time problems. So as everything goes down and more and more people are starving, no power and starving in Africa, then they're going to have to migrate. And they're going to migrate outwards every direction, well, north. Can't go south. More and more desperate people. San Carlos Lake, Arizona. Desert update. This is in New Mexico. Uncle's farm is dry. Old place is dried up. The water tables are dropping. The ground is heating from the bottom up. People don't see the super plume. They don't realize. Think the situation, the food supply and all that is far worse than people realize. Hope you guys are prepped. Our ability to prepare is being diminished because the currency is being devalued at a more rapid pace. So you can't. The Keystone meat that you could get for $6.38 is now $12. Last time I checked. And that price is from March 2020 until today. Oh, whenever you see the ITM, the people in the car, the Kenny lady, the fella driving, they access some data. I'm thinking that that's the right video. I've watched many of them. They tracked inflation for the key things that we need for the last 10 years. Food, staples, rice and beans type stuff. The annual increase in the food, last 10 years, 11%. Not 3% or 2% or 4%, like we're being told. So the liars manipulating the numbers, they're taking out the things going up, they're putting things in that are going down, and they're deceiving us. The numbers are lies. America's fault lines are ready to go. Why? I already told you. It's the super plume. under black star electromagnetic influence. Fault gate open. Over and out for California. It's California. There are no safe zones in California. Highest stress in 1,000 years. Yeah, it's pushing from the underside, the super plume, those four horn formations that are stuck in the up position, and we're going through the uptick period, and those horns just go up. They transfer more heat as the pressure increases, and that's what's happening. We're still seeing the effects from the uptick period. The temperature doesn't like your oven. Turn it to 500, it doesn't go down instantly when you turn it off. And at some point, the temps are just going to keep going up out of control. Scientists built a battery-free device that turns sunlight into fuel. This was Gilbert. You sent this in. It's down in the science and technology section of the newsletter.
Right now in rural Brazil, something is killing livestock and draining them dry.
Now, this happens every, what's a 30-year cycle or something? Strange stuff. Sometimes they're mutilated, and sometimes they're just drained of their blood. Everybody hates Israel. This was shared in my letter to Senator Tom Cotton. Everybody hates Israel. Enforcer, Russia evaluates the Crimea naval bases. These are long reports if you want details, particularly on Ukraine. One of my favorites, Marindani, professor, he's one of my favorites. Israel's attack on Beirut to sabotage the deal. No matter what Trump tells you, no matter what deal he has working or whatever, Israel is going to come along and mess it up. They want their Greater Israel project to continue no matter what. And Iran has tied Lebanon to the deal. And the parties are way, way, way too far apart on all that. So even if Trump agrees, even if he can get Netanyahu to cry uncle, knuckle down and cry uncle, doesn't change anything. Because Israel is not going to stop killing their neighbors. So we're going to keep seeing this Groundhog Day thing. We have a deal, we don't have a deal. We have a deal, we don't have a deal. We have a deal, we don't have a deal. Assad to emerge permanently. This is the video right here. I was watching this video when I realized. Then they're bringing up Tom Cotton. He's the sponsor, and he's this, and I'm going, holy cow! It's not an epiphany that the system is corrupt. I tell you that. I know it is. And I don't think anything's going to change because I wrote my senator. That's crazy. But hopefully, you guys, the 40 of you guys that are reading my Substack posts, then you have you have more of an understanding of what's going on, which is legislation that our corrupt politicians are pushing through right now. The Iran deal, catastrophic for Netanyahu. It is. Absolutely. This was 2 in the morning for the professor. And he's saying, those guys talking about the deal, they didn't know anything because they just came out of the meeting. He says he can't even tell you the details because the people that he would call to find out are sleeping. It was 2 in the morning, which tells you everything coming out of the media was spin and had nothing to do with reality. U.S. turns on Israel. For how long? The end of endless wars. Oh my goodness. After a while, you become a doubting Thomas and don't believe anything. Maybe that's the point. We're being desensitized. Round table, Larry Johnson. Prison to work on your own car. That's how it's happening. The Ford, I do believe GM was there too, in the White House lobbying for legislation so that you and me can't work on our own vehicle. I had that reminds me, I had to burn resources on buying a new tailgate. I was picking up a survival item and got in a hurry. Got a good deal, by the way, and backed into a tree and smashed up my tailgate, which had already been smashed twice prior. Hit it on the corner of the deck out here. Dropped the gate. It has a backup camera, but if the tailgate's down, you can't see it. And I get in a hurry. I do that with my physical body and with my truck sometimes. The tailgate, that was its third strike, and it was a big one. So I had to buy a shell. It's going to take me some time. Had to get some new plastic for it, and now all the parts are coming. I'm going to have to put it together and get it back on my truck. And I'm going to do it. You know, you need your truck. If it was just for the cosmetics of it, I'd probably leave it. Junkyards are burning down across America. Do you guys realize that? Because the legislation and pushing people in new cars that are AI, that's part of the plan. If you have an old beater, they want to separate you from your ability to get it repaired, so then you'll trade it in and get yourself something they can control. American dream is dead. Corporations killed it. Actually, the Federal Reserve killed it. The global banksters killed it. The common denominator in a lot of this is the currency is being devalued. People don't connect the dots. The dollar doesn't buy as much. The markets are going up because worthless dollars takes more of them to buy the same stuff. The melt up is what's happening. And then they work 2 jobs, 3 jobs, can't make it. Everybody's prices are going up. Americans are screaming that the economy has already collapsed. I'm in that bandwagon. It's the lower rung of the socioeconomic ladder. Those people on the bottom, hyperinflation has already eaten them alive. They're living in their cars already. Or they've lost their car and they're living on the streets, tent cities. It's already happening. It's gradually going to move up and up and up until it gets more and more of us. The idea is to be self-sufficient. Be able to have your own power, your own water, your own everything. And when the whole system collapses, then you can tweak everything and survive. Get ready for the brutal reality. Hope you guys are prepping. Compact gear storage, hardware list for preppers. Get what you can, because the day's coming when you cannot get anything out of the store. What you can just go down there and pull off the shelf right now, it's not going to be that long. You're not going to be able to. 24 hours, everything changes for the United States, Iran, everybody doesn't know it. No, I'm not buying it. I'd love to report when it does happen, but telling me what's going to happen based on what Trump is talking about and his tweets and everything, I'm not buying any of that. I'll make the report and I'm going to prep. Deal is canceled. That took just a couple of minutes. If that's not what this is Monday morning, as Steve Popular already knows, the deal is canceled. There's not going to be any deal. That they could develop a framework. Even if they sign this deal on Friday, they could develop a framework. Then it's a long, long time before they get to. They're all working off the same piece of paper, the same statements, the same clauses, subclauses, and all the different echelons of the different administrations all sign on. It takes a lot of time. And then the final signatures by the primary parties. But I'll be optimistic when I see people sitting in the same room. Get Pakistan out of the way, get everybody else out of the way. The Qataris and the Emiratis and get them all out of the way. They're the people that are desperate that need something to happen right now. It has to be the same thing with Ukraine. It has to be the leaders in the same room signing the final document that's taken a while to put together. When you see that, then you got a deal. Until then, this is all smoke and mirrors. Is a deal done? Not so fast. Stay ready. Continue prepping. Israel attacks Beirut. That's not going to stop. Even if you can get Israel to agree to something momentarily. New to prepping, start with these 6 things. Goshen Prepping, really, really sharp guy. I highly recommend him. Jeremiah, peace deal reached. And who really won? It's a memo. There are no winners and losers yet. We're all losing. Every day the strait stays shut is another day that we're losing. What were they thinking? Leadership. A really strong leader in the group that is able to polarize the members and to direct them. It's threat assessment, contingency planning, and execution. Having a plan, executing that plan, keeping the members busy working toward the same goals. It's really difficult. Centers around the medical team leader is a critical component. The medical team leader is familiar with everybody in the group and those blood types. Your group is a walking blood bank. People don't realize that. Who are the O's? Who are the ABs? Who's the AB positives that can take anybody's blood? And who are the O negatives that can donate the blood to anybody in the group? You have to know your blood types and who's in the same group and there's so many things to know. And the psychology, the medical leader, sometimes it's not the surgeon or somebody like that. Sometimes it's the doctor that's psychologist that works with the medical team. But that person is critical. Just your group leader knowing that that's critical is critical importance. Then you have other divisions down to animal husbandry. Everybody's got their job and they realize the importance of their job. Some people pay to get in. Some people are working and providing their skills to get in. It's there are so many facets, so many things to get right. And sometimes you're only allowed one mistake. One big mistake kills the whole group. But most survivor group leaders and members are totally unaware of how multifaceted the task is of a successful survivor group program. It's extremely difficult to do. It could drain the life out of you trying to do it. There have been half a dozen leaders of the Terrell's survival group program. Every one of them failed. It's extremely difficult. And it's no fault of anybody of the members that tried. It's just really extremely difficult. Some of them, they were leaders and they were just getting here and making the transition to the life that's here in the Ozarks, expended them. They were done after that. Didn't have enough gas in the tank to do anymore after that. That happens to they burn out, fast. And again, it's not for lack of desire or will or anything else. It's just really a difficult job. Three secret moves. Wing Chun's secret moves that stop any street attacker. I highly recommend being ready. Then have yourself a partner and go through the information and strengthen your core, center part of your body. Know how to make a fist. Here, some basics, some things that you need to do. And then whenever trouble comes your way, you already know what to do. You can take action right away. And generally, whenever you're ready, the attacker realizes in about a second that he does not want to mess with you. That's your goal. That's what you're looking for. Alert. Our power just got shut off. This blackout exposes the dangerous problems most Americans are ignoring. I'm not kidding you, man. That happened for us here. For 3 days, our power went out. And we have We had backup power, just 24 panels at the time. We were able to make it through. But it's those type of experiences that help you to develop your plan. I go, oh, I don't have enough panels. And don't have enough batteries. Didn't have enough inverters. Bought the wrong inverter when I started. So those are problems. Write down on this piece of paper that's right here beside me. Right now. That's funny. There's a note here to write Tom Cotton. So I scratched that off my list. I have to watch the video on how to replace my tailgate. And I have to go turn this pump off at a certain time. Funny with things that wind up on your to-do list. But having enough power, see, Brad's finding out what he has to do. He's running, getting gasolines and generators and such. But identify your threats, create contingencies, execute your plan based on your situation and your available resources. It's really all you can do. But you know what? Whenever you identify something like that, you have limited resources. If you sit down on Facebook Marketplace or you Craigslist or do the research, then chances are you can find a workaround. You can find a solution that's going to keep your refrigerator running anyway. Keep your cell phones charged up. 11 things to panic buy before they disappear. Can't tell you how many, see these jars, glass jars? Can't tell you how many cat has fished out of the dumpsters. Like one jar is broken, they break one, they throw the case away. She salvages the rest of them. We have a lot of these right here. A lot of things that she's fished out of the dumpster that are survivor related. We have a room filled with stuff that some of it's for barter, some of it's survival stuff, and that hasn't made it to the man cave or the boathouse yet. What's in the dumpsters out there, if you don't have resources, that could be an extremely valuable resource for you. Just be aware because threats are increasing. More and more people are desperate. People are fighting over stuff in the dumpsters that are out there. And that's it for our report. That's all I can think to share with you guys. Have your Nano Silver orders in by Friday at 8 a.m. The special's still going for now. The prices are going to go up at some point. Take advantage while you can. That's it for Monday's report. Appreciate your support very, very much again. Get more information at 03.com. I'll see you on the next Black Star Update report.